There's a story I need to share with you tonight. It's not a story of great triumph or devastating failure. It's a story about two doors, two simple wooden doors standing side by side in a dimly lit hallway. These doors look identical on the surface, same height, same width, same deep mahogany finish. But behind each door lies a vastly different destiny. One leads to a life of abundance, purpose, and fulfillment. The other, to a life of scarcity, regret, and what-ifs. The fascinating truth is that you've walked through one of these doors already. Every single day, with every decision you make, you're choosing your door again and again. You see, I've spent decades studying human potential, observing thousands of lives unfold in dramatically different ways. And I've discovered something profound. The difference between wealth and poverty isn't just about money in the bank. It's about what happens between our ears. It's about the mindset we choose to embrace. Have you ever noticed how two people can start from exactly the same place, same education, same opportunities, same resources, yet end up in completely different situations 5 years later? One builds a life of abundance while the other struggles to make ends meet. One sees opportunities everywhere while the other sees only obstacles. One grows stronger through challenges while the other is defeated by them. Really let it sink in. Because understanding this truth, that your mindset shapes your reality more powerfully than any external circumstance, is the first step toward transforming your life. I remember meeting two young men who worked at the same manufacturing plant. Both earned the same salary, both faced the same daily challenges, but their approaches to life couldn't have been more different. The first man would arrive at work each day complaining about his lot in life. "This job is just temporary," he'd say. "I'm meant for better things." Yet year after year, he remained in the same position, bitter about his circumstances, but never taking action to change them. The second man, he approached each day differently. While working his regular shift, he studied the entire operation. He learned about manufacturing processes, supply chain management, quality control, anything he could get his hands on. He volunteered for extra projects, asked questions, and made suggestions for improvements. Within 3 years, he was promoted to plant supervisor. 2 years after that, operations manager for the entire facility. Same starting point, same opportunities, dramatically different outcomes. The difference? Mindset. You see, a wealthy mindset isn't about having money. It's about how you think about money, opportunity, and most importantly, yourself. It's about seeing abundance where others see scarcity. It's about taking responsibility where others make excuses. It's about investing in yourself where others seek entertainment. Consider this. When was the last time you invested in your own growth? When was the last time you chose to buy a book instead of watching television? When was the last time you saw a problem and thought, "How can I solve this?" instead of, "Why does this always happen to me?" These questions might make you uncomfortable. Good. Discomfort is where growth begins. Discomfort is the sign that you're pushing against the boundaries of your current mindset. The poor mindset whispers seductive lies. You can't. It's too hard. You're not ready. Someone else will do it. You need more time. You need more money. You need more connections. But here's the truth. These are all excuses masquerading as reasons. The wealthy mindset asks different questions. How can I? What's the first step? Who can teach me? Where can I find the resources? What can I learn from this? These questions open doors. They create possibilities. They generate solutions. Let me share another observation that might surprise you. In all my years of studying success and failure, I've noticed that poor mindset individuals often have more raw talent than their wealthy mindset counterparts. They're often more naturally gifted, more inherently clever, but they wait for opportunities instead of creating them. They wait for permission instead of taking initiative. They wait for the perfect moment instead of starting now. The wealthy mindset understands that imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. They understand that success isn't about avoiding failures. It's about failing forward, learning, adjusting, and trying again with new knowledge. A child learning to walk. Does the child give up after the first fall? The 10th? The 100th? Number? The child keeps trying, adjusting, learning, until walking becomes second nature. That child hasn't read any self-help books, hasn't attended any seminars, hasn't hired any coaches. The child simply possesses what we all once had, an unshakable belief in their ability to learn and grow. Somewhere along the way, many of us lost that belief. We started listening to the wrong voices, both external and internal. We began to doubt our capabilities. We started making excuses instead of progress. We chose comfort over growth, security over opportunity, the known over the unknown. But here's the beautiful truth. Just as you can learn poor mindset habits, you can unlearn them. Just as you can fall into patterns of scarcity thinking, you can rise into patterns of abundance thinking. The choice, and make no mistake, it is a choice, is yours. Consider your morning routine. The poor mindset hits the snooze button repeatedly, dreading the day ahead. The wealthy mindset rises early, eager to seize the opportunities each new day brings. The poor mindset rushes through morning chaos, already feeling behind. The wealthy mindset follows a purposeful morning routine, setting intentions for the day ahead. Or consider your approach to problems. When faced with a challenge, the poor mindset sees an insurmountable obstacle. The wealthy mindset sees an opportunity to learn, grow, and create value. The poor mindset asks, "Why me?" The wealthy mindset asks, "What's next?" The poor mindset sees money as something to be spent, something that slips through their fingers like water. The wealthy mindset sees money as a tool, something to be invested, leveraged, and grown. The poor mindset works for money. The wealthy mindset makes money work for them. But perhaps most importantly, consider your relationship with learning. The poor mindset believes learning ends with formal education. The wealthy mindset sees life itself as a continuous education. The poor mindset reads for entertainment if they read at all. The wealthy mindset reads for growth, for understanding, for advantage. I want you to do something right now. Take a moment and think about the last major decision you made. It could be about your career, your relationships, your health, or your finances. Now ask yourself, did I make that decision from a place of fear or a place of possibility? Did I choose based on what I could lose or what I could gain? Did I act from a mindset of scarcity or a mindset of abundance? Your answer to those questions reveals more about your future success than your current bank balance ever could. Because here's a truth that might shake you to your core. Your current circumstances are the direct result of your past mindset, and your future circumstances will be the direct result of your present mindset. Let me share something profound with you. During my research into human potential, I discovered a pattern so consistent it cannot be ignored. When faced with an unexpected expense of $500, people with a poor mindset immediately go into crisis mode. They see it as a devastating blow, an unfair punishment, a reason to despair. But people with a wealthy mindset, they see it as a signal to review their systems, adjust their strategies, and create additional streams of income. The same event. Two completely different responses, two completely different outcomes. You see, the wealthy mindset understands something crucial. Life doesn't happen to you. It responds to you. Every challenge is an opportunity in disguise. Every setback contains the seeds of an equal or greater comeback. Every problem contains its own solution. Water for a moment. When water encounters an obstacle, it doesn't stop. It doesn't complain. It doesn't make excuses. It finds a way around, over, or through. It adapts. It persists. It transforms. Water can wear away solid rock not through force, but through persistence and adaptability. This is how the wealthy mindset approaches life. Not with brute force, but with intelligent persistence. Not with rigid plans, but with flexible strategies. Not with complaints about what's wrong, but with questions about what's possible. Let me ask you another question. What would you do differently if you absolutely knew you could not fail? Really think about that. What goals would you set? What actions would you take? What risks would you embrace? Now here's the critical part. The wealthy mindset doesn't wait for the guarantee of success. They understand that the only real failure is the failure to try, to step out, to move forward. They know that every successful person you admire failed their way to success. Consider this story. A small grocery store owner watched his business struggling during an economic downturn. With a poor mindset, he focused on all the customers he was losing to the bigger stores, how unfair the competition was, how impossible it seemed to keep up. His response? He cut costs, reduced inventory, and essentially began the slow process of going out of business. Across town, another grocery store owner faced the exact same challenges. But with a wealthy mindset, he saw things differently. Instead of focusing on what he was losing, he focused on what he could offer that the big stores couldn't. He got to know his customers personally. He started offering specialized products they couldn't find elsewhere. He created a delivery service for elderly customers who struggled to carry heavy groceries. He turned his small size from a weakness into a strength. One store closed within a year. The other not only survived but thrived, eventually opening 2 more locations. Same external circumstances, different mindsets, different outcomes. This brings us to another crucial distinction between the poor mindset and the wealthy mindset: their relationship with time. The poor mindset sees time as something to be filled, spent, or killed. The wealthy mindset sees time as their most precious resource, something to be invested, leveraged, and multiplied. How you spent your last free evening? Did you invest it in learning a new skill, developing a side business, or building meaningful relationships? Or did you spend it consuming entertainment that left you with nothing to show for those hours? Now don't misunderstand me. Rest and recreation are vital. But the wealthy mindset approaches even leisure time differently. They ask themselves, is this activity rejuvenating me or just numbing me? Is this helping me grow or helping me hide? Is this moving me closer to my goals or further away from them? The poor mindset often confuses activity with achievement. They stay busy, but busy doing what? They mistake motion for progress, effort for results. The wealthy mindset, on the other hand, focuses on effectiveness over efficiency. They don't just work hard, they work smart. They don't just put in hours, they put in thought. They don't just make moves, they make progress. Let's talk about something that might make you uncomfortable: your circle of influence. The poor mindset surrounds itself with people who reinforce their limitations, who validate their excuses, who comfort them in their complacency. The wealthy mindset deliberately seeks out people who challenge them to grow, who inspire them to dream bigger, who hold them accountable to their highest potential. Look around you right now. Are you the most ambitious person in your social circle? The most growth-minded? The most determined to succeed? If so, it's time to expand your circle. The wealthy mindset understands that growth requires exposure to new ideas, new perspectives, new standards of achievement. Here's another crucial distinction. The poor mindset sees education as a period of life that ends with graduation. The wealthy mindset sees education as a lifelong pursuit. They understand that in a world of constant change, the only security lies in your ability to learn, adapt, and grow. Your approach to problems. The poor mindset sees problems as burdens to be endured. The wealthy mindset sees problems as markets to be served. Where others see obstacles, they see opportunities. Where others see difficulties, they see possibilities. Consider the story of two employees facing a company-wide layoff. The first, operating from a poor mindset, fell into despair. Why me? They asked. What am I going to do? They spent their severance pay maintaining their current lifestyle while half-heartedly looking for similar jobs. The second employee, operating from a wealthy mindset, asked different questions. What skills have I developed here that could be valuable elsewhere? What needs could I fulfill in the marketplace? What opportunities does this change create? They used their severance pay to start a consulting business, serving their former employer's industry in a new way. Within 2 years, the first employee was still struggling to find stable employment. The second had built a thriving business serving multiple clients, earning more than they ever did as an employee. Same circumstance, different mindset, different outcome. Let's talk about something that few people understand: the relationship between mindset and opportunity. The poor mindset believes that opportunities are rare, that success is a matter of luck, that you have to be in the right place at the right time. The wealthy mindset understands that opportunities are abundant, that success is a matter of preparation, and that you can create the right place and the right time through consistent, purposeful action. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to have all the luck? They're always finding great opportunities, meeting the right people, being in the right place at the right time. But here's the truth. What looks like luck to the poor mindset is actually preparation meeting opportunity. The wealthy mindset is constantly preparing, constantly learning, constantly positioning themselves to recognize and seize opportunities that the poor mindset doesn't even see. Consider this profound truth. Every major problem in society represents an opportunity for those willing to solve it. Every inconvenience, every inefficiency, every frustration that people experience is a potential gold mine for someone with the right mindset. The poor mindset complains about these problems. The wealthy mindset asks, how can I solve this? Let me share a story that illustrates this perfectly. In a small town, there was a laundromat that had been operating the same way for 20 years. The owner, stuck in a poor mindset, complained constantly about how business was declining, how customers were unreliable, how profits were shrinking. He saw his business as a burden, his customers as problems, and change as a threat. Another entrepreneur visited this town and saw something completely different. Where the owner saw problems, she saw opportunities. She noticed that working parents struggled to do their laundry during regular business hours. She observed that customers hated waiting around for their clothes to finish. She realized that people wanted more than just clean clothes. They wanted their time back. What did she do? She opened her own laundromat with a completely different approach. She offered pickup and delivery services. She installed a notification system to alert customers when their laundry was done. She added a small coffee shop where people could work or relax while waiting. She transformed what was seen as a tedious chore into a convenient, almost pleasant experience. Within a year, her business was thriving while the old laundromat continued to decline. Same market, same basic service, completely different mindset. completely different results. This brings us to another crucial distinction between the poor mindset and the wealthy mindset, their relationship with change. The poor mindset resists change, sees it as a threat, tries to maintain the status quo at all costs. The wealthy mindset embraces change, sees it as an opportunity, and actively looks for ways to leverage it. Your own relationship with change. When was the last time you voluntarily stepped out of your comfort zone? When was the last time you taught yourself a new skill? When was the last time you questioned your own assumptions about what's possible? The poor mindset operates from a place of fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. This fear manifests as procrastination, as excuses, as reasons why now isn't the right time, why they're not ready, why it probably wouldn't work anyway. But here's what they don't understand. The wealthy mindset feels these exact same fears. They just don't let these fears make their decisions for them. Consider your own dreams and goals. What would you attempt if you weren't afraid of failing? What would you create if you weren't worried about judgment? What would you become if you weren't limited by your current self-image? The wealthy mindset understands something profound. Your comfort zone is not a place to live, it's a place to visit occasionally. Growth happens in the uncomfortable spaces, in the challenging moments, in the situations that force you to become more than you currently are. Let's talk about something that might challenge your current thinking. The relationship between price and value. The poor mindset is obsessed with price, always looking for the cheapest option, always trying to spend less, always focusing on the cost. The wealthy mindset focuses on value. They understand that price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Think about your own purchasing decisions. Do you buy the cheapest option available, or do you invest in quality? Do you focus on the initial cost, or do you consider the long-term value? Do you see prices as expenses to be minimized, or investments to be leveraged? The wealthy mindset understands that sometimes the most expensive option is actually the cheapest in the long run. They understand that quality, durability, and effectiveness often have a higher upfront cost, but provide greater value over time. This applies not just to physical purchases, but to investments in education, in relationships, in health, and in personal growth. Consider two individuals looking to learn a new skill. The first, operating from a poor mindset, looks for free resources, spends countless hours piecing together information from various sources, and struggles to make progress. The second, operating from a wealthy mindset, invests in a quality course or mentor, learns efficiently and effectively, and starts applying their new skill to create value much sooner. The first person saved money, but spent time. The second invested money, but saved time. Which was truly more expensive? This brings us to another crucial distinction. The poor mindset sees money as something to be earned through time and effort. The wealthy mindset sees money as something to be earned through value creation and problem solving. The poor mindset trades time for money. The wealthy mindset invests time in creating systems that generate money. Your own relationship with money. Do you see it as a scarce resource to be hoarded, or as a tool to be leveraged? Do you focus on saving money or on creating value? Do you work for money, or do you make money work for you? The poor mindset sees debt as a tool to acquire things they can't afford. The wealthy mindset sees debt as a tool to acquire assets that generate value. One borrows to consume, the other borrows to create. One focuses on monthly payments, the other focuses on return on investment. Let me share something that might fundamentally change how you think about wealth creation. The poor mindset believes that hard work alone creates success. The wealthy mindset understands that while hard work is necessary, it's not sufficient. They know that digging a ditch with a spoon requires more hard work than digging it with a backhoe, but it's not smarter work. Consider two car salesmen at the same dealership. The first, operating from a poor mindset, works incredibly hard. He's always on the lot, always ready to greet customers, always pushing to make a sale. He sees each customer as a potential transaction, each sale as a commission check. He works longer hours than anyone else, proud of his work ethic. The second salesman, operating from a wealthy mindset, works differently. He spends time understanding his customers' needs, building relationships, and creating systems to stay in touch. He sees each customer as a potential long-term relationship, each sale as an opportunity to create value. He doesn't just sell cars. He helps people solve their transportation needs. After 5 years, the first salesman is still working the same long hours, still chasing each sale, still starting from zero each month. The second has built a referral network that brings him steady business, has customers who return to him for their next purchase, and earns more while working fewer hours. Same job, different mindset, different results. This brings us to another crucial distinction. The poor mindset focuses on working harder. The wealthy mindset focuses on working smarter. The poor mindset measures success by effort expended. The wealthy mindset measures success by results achieved. Your own work habits. Are you focused on being busy or being productive? Are you measuring your effort or your impact? Are you working harder or working smarter? The wealthy mindset understands something profound. Your income is directly proportional to the value you create for others. The more problems you solve, the more value you create. The more value you create, the more wealth you can accumulate. Let's talk about something that might challenge your current beliefs: the relationship between knowledge and action. The poor mindset believes that more knowledge leads to better results. They constantly seek more information, more strategies, more techniques. But they often fall into the trap of what I call analysis paralysis, always learning, never doing. The wealthy mindset understands that knowledge without action is merely entertainment. They learn what they need to take the next step, then they take that step. They understand that imperfect action beats perfect planning every time. Consider two aspiring entrepreneurs. The first spends months researching their market, developing detailed business plans, analyzing every possible scenario. They want everything to be perfect before they start. The second does enough research to understand the basics, then launches a small test of their concept. They learn from real market feedback and adjust their approach based on actual results. 1 year later, who do you think is closer to success? The one with the perfect plan that's never been tested? Or the one with the imperfect action that's been refined through real experience? This brings us to another vital distinction. The poor mindset sees failure as something to be avoided at all costs. The wealthy mindset sees failure as feedback, as data, as a necessary step on the path to success. They understand that every no brings them closer to a yes, that every failure contains the seed of an equivalent or greater success. Your own relationship with failure. Do you see it as a judgment of your worth, or as information about what doesn't work? Do you let failure stop you, or do you let it teach you? Do you see it as an end, or as a beginning? The wealthy mindset understands something that the poor mindset never grasps. Success is not a destination, it's a direction. It's not something you achieve once and then stop. It's something you pursue continuously. It's not about reaching a specific goal. It's about becoming a specific type of person. Let me share another observation that might surprise you. The poor mindset often has more talent, more natural ability, more raw potential than the wealthy mindset. But they wait for opportunities instead of creating them. They wait for recognition instead of earning it. They wait for success instead of pursuing it. Consider two artists. The first, incredibly talented, waits to be discovered. They believe their talent alone should be enough. They work on their art when inspired, show it only to friends and family, and dream of the day someone will recognize their genius. The second artist, perhaps less naturally gifted, approaches their craft differently. They study their market, understand what collectors want, and create consistently whether inspired or not. They actively seek opportunities to show their work, build relationships in the art community, and treat their art as both a creative endeavor and a business. 5 years later, which artist is more likely to be making a living from their work? The one waiting to be discovered, or the one actively creating their own success? This brings us to another crucial distinction. The poor mindset believes success is something that happens to you. The wealthy mindset knows success is something that happens through you. One waits for their ship to come in. The other builds their own ship, your own journey for a moment. Are you creating your success or waiting for it? Are you building your future or hoping it will somehow find you? Are you taking purposeful action or making elaborate excuses? The wealthy mindset understands something profound. Hope is not a strategy. Luck is not a plan. Fate is not a business model. Success leaves clues, and those clues are available to anyone willing to study them, learn from them, and apply them consistently. Let me share one final observation that ties everything together. The poor mindset sees life as something that happens to them. They feel powerless, victimized by circumstances, controlled by external forces. The wealthy mindset sees life as something that happens through them. They feel empowered, responsible for their circumstances, in control of their responses to external events. Consider two individuals facing a significant economic downturn. The first, operating from a poor mindset, focuses on everything they can't control: the economy, the job market, the government's policies. They feel helpless, angry, and afraid. Their response? They cut back on everything, including investments in themselves, and wait for things to get better. The second individual, operating from a wealthy mindset, focuses on what they can control: their skills, their attitudes, their actions. They see the downturn as a reset, a chance to position themselves for the eventual recovery. They invest in learning new skills, building new relationships, and identifying new opportunities while others are retreating. When the economy recovers, who do you think is better positioned to benefit? The one who spent the downturn waiting and worrying, or the one who spent it preparing and positioning? This brings us to the most important distinction of all. The poor mindset sees wealth as something external, something you have or don't have. The wealthy mindset sees wealth as something internal, something you become before you acquire. Let it really sink in. You don't have wealth. You become wealthy. You don't have success. You become successful. You don't have a different mindset. You become a different person. The transformation from a poor mindset to a wealthy mindset isn't just about changing your thoughts. It's about changing your identity. It's about becoming someone who thinks differently, acts differently, and therefore achieves different results. So here's the question that will determine your future. Who are you becoming? Are you becoming someone who creates value, or someone who consumes it? Are you becoming someone who acts with purpose, or someone who reacts to circumstances? Are you becoming someone who builds wealth, or someone who wishes for it? The choice, and make no mistake, it is a choice, is yours. Every day, with every decision, with every action or inaction, you're choosing your mindset. You're choosing your future. You're choosing who you become. Remember those two doors I mentioned at the beginning? They're still there, side by side, waiting for your choice. One leads to a life of scarcity, of limitations, of what-ifs. The other leads to a life of abundance, of possibilities, of achievement. The door you choose, the mindset you embrace, will determine everything that follows. It will determine how you see opportunities, how you handle challenges, how you create value, and ultimately, how you live your life. But here's the most powerful truth of all. You can choose again. Right now, in this moment. You can decide to see the world differently. You can decide to think differently. You can decide to act differently. You can decide to become different. The transformation begins with a simple but profound shift. Stop asking, why me? And start asking, what's next? Stop focusing on what you can't control and start maximizing what you can. Stop waiting for the perfect moment and start making this moment perfect. Your mindset is not your destiny unless you choose to make it so. Your past decisions have created your present circumstances, but your present decisions will create your future reality. The question is not whether you can change. You can. The question is whether you will change, whether you're ready to leave the comfortable familiarity of the poor mindset and embrace the challenging growth of the wealthy mindset. Where you want to be 5 years from now? What kind of life do you want to live? What kind of person do you want to become? What kind of impact do you want to make? Now, ask yourself honestly, will your current mindset take you there? If not, then it's time for a change. It's time to stop settling for less than you're capable of achieving. It's time to stop making excuses and start making progress. It's time to stop thinking like someone who hopes for a better future and start thinking like someone who creates a better future. The wealthy mindset isn't just about making more money. It's about becoming more valuable. It's not just about having more. It's about becoming more. It's not just about getting what you want. It's about becoming someone who deserves what they want. So I challenge you. Starting right now, choose the wealthy mindset. Choose to see opportunities where others see obstacles. Choose to take action where others make excuses. Choose to create value where others seek comfort. Choose to become someone who doesn't just dream of success, but does what's necessary to achieve it. Remember, the difference between where you are and where you want to be is the difference between how you currently think and how you need to think. Change your mindset, change your life. The choice is yours. The time is now. What door will you choose?